Hi everyone, welcome to my channel at Soul Level. Today I will be doing a flip through and a review of the Faeries Oracle. Now I bought these secondhand, so I don't actually have the original box or whatever packaging it came in, I don't know. I found it in Glastonbury. I bought it in Glastonbury in the during the market, witches market, sorry. The spring one this year, 2022, and I am very happy with it. I am in love with this deck. In fact, I've been looking for a fairies deck for a while, but I just couldn't find one that actually resonated with me much. But this one, I just picked it up. I looked at the card. Here are the cards, by the way, we'll get to them in a second. I looked at the card that was at the front of this little bag, and I was like, yep, this is the one. Definitely this is the one. So this is by Brian Froud, and the text written by Jessica Macbeth. And I have already read the entry of the book before it goes into the meanings of the cards, and I gotta say, I really love what Jessica Macbeth has done. I really like the way she approaches the whole subject of reading oracle cards, and also really learning about the fairies, and really understanding their energy. And she teaches you in the book here on how to do that, how to commune with fairies, what to do to be able to feel their energy, and how to start using this deck. She shows you some exercises on how to familiarize yourself with the cards before you start reading their meanings in the guidebook, right? Because essentially this whole deck was created by Jessica working with the fairies themselves, and so, as we know, the cards are always just a tool, and we are the magic, right? And we in our connection with the fairies in this instance. So it's really important that we just pay attention to how what intuitive messages we receive first and foremost, rather than what the guidebook is, because the guidebook is what it says. It's a guide, right? It's not the be all end all. But yeah, so the book, as you can see, is quite big. It has, oh, you have some notes in the back. See, I actually did not even know that yet. You have some spreads at the end, ideas for spreads, how to read the cards, yeah, and then obviously the meanings. And you have like at least a couple of pages for each card. Yeah, so I highly recommend this deck. If you can still, I think it's quite easy to find it actually and buy it online still, because only since I got it secondhand is when I noticed that it's out there. I don't know, whenever I put the Oracle of Fairies or Faeries Oracle, fairies cards, whatever card decks, I was looking for anything and everything online before, and on YouTube, because I tend to watch flip throughs or some sort of reviews beforehand, before I buy any deck, and I haven't actually come across this one yet on YouTube, but it obviously might have been somewhere there, I just haven't noticed. But yeah, since I actually bought this secondhand, I then just checked if it's actually in print, and it looks like it is, so you should be able to buy it yourself. So yeah, the artwork is by Brian Froud, who is, I believe, he's the artist, of course, and he, I believe, has been involved with a movie. There was a movie that he was involved in when it comes to the characters. Some sort of a fantasy movie, I think. I do apologize if I'm really getting it wrong, because I can't remember right now, but I known of Brian before. And honestly, I mean, this book, I love it. Every few pages you have like a little message. For instance, here, all fairies appear on the threshold of what is and what is to be, by Brian. So the book, like I said, is actually written by Jessica Macbeth, but his quotes and things are around in the book as well. And it's just a very, this whole work has a beautifully magical feel to it. Honestly, I can't recommend it enough. I love it so much. And this was definitely a perfect choice for a fairies, fairy as in Faery, or fairies deck is really perfect choice. I do apologize for the noise in the background. I'm just going to close the window and I'll be back in a sec. Alright, so now I'll put the book aside. I will pull one card at the end for us all, just so that you get a feel of what the book is like. Okay, so let's get, so these are not in order at all, because I've been using them for myself only so far, and I gotta say, I keep repeating myself, so I do apologize, but I just love them so much. I love the artwork you'll see in a second. These are basically a size of, I would say, standard tarot cards, I believe. And the stock is thin, but in a good way. Like, I really like it because it's very nice and it's not flimsy, but it's nice and flexible, you know. And like I say, these are secondhand and they're a completely perfect condition. So these are the backs. Just looking at them, don't you just want to laugh looking at them? I mean, it's just all very smart, witty, magical, fairy-like, basically fairy-like, right? If you have been working with fairies, you'll know what I mean. Okay, so let's do a flip through. Like I say, in no particular order. And I will not read the writing, because I gotta say, I still don't remember them all, and the writing confuses me a little bit. I can't always read it. Yeah. So forgive me for that. So I'll try not to spend too much time on this, but look at this. I mean, gosh, this is a talent, right? I really, really love this art style. I'm guessing this is a digital art. I'm guessing, I don't know, I do apologize for any of you that are familiar, because I am not familiar with art styles at all. I'm a complete amateur when it comes to that. I'm just the admirer. But if you are a person who mostly reads cards intuitively, then this is definitely a deck for you, because like I say, in the book itself, Jessica teaches you and encourages you to use your own intuition first and foremost, before you read the guidebook, because the guidebook is just a suggestion. It's a suggestion of how you could interpret the card, but it's very, very important that you just work with the fairies when you use this oracle and speak to them and see what they tell you. As she says in the book, you are the magic, not the cards, right? Although they are beautiful, they are really magical. I love it so much. Okay, By the way, there are 65 cards in this deck. Jessica also talks about how the choice of which portraits, let's call them portrait, right? Portraits of the fairies to use, because Brian Froud has made more than 65 portraits, so she went through a whole process to actually choose the ones that should be included in the deck. Just reading the book is just all, it's very it's funny, it makes you laugh, but like it makes you laugh, lovingly laugh, you know. It's a very sweet story, depicts beautifully the energy of the fairies and how experiencing their energy is like. The Soul Shrinker. If you have this deck, let me know in the comments what you think of it. Do you love it just as I do? Do you use it often? And if you don't, if you're thinking about getting this deck, then let me know as well. I mean, yeah, who wouldn't fall in love with this art? I think, but I'm obviously biased because I like it. The Sage, the Wise Sage. I'm actually planning on reading the meaning, the interpretation for each card from the book. I feel like I have familiarized myself with them enough to trust myself and my intuition when I use them, but also I would like to now know what the chosen interpretation in the book is. It's all very, very imaginative, very rich in imagination and magic and fantasy. You know, if you're a fan of these energies, let's call them, then I think you will really like this deck. If you have any other fairy decks, also let me know in the comments. Look at this. This was the card that was at the top of the deck when I actually bought it. I just looked at it and I was like, yep, I'm in love. I'm taking this. And then this is called Gluminous Loom. Look at his eyes. I love it. If any deck, if it's emotive, and you can really read into the emotion and sort of the depth of the characters, then that's definitely my kind of deck, my kind of creation art. There's just so much, like when you do one of the exercises that Jessica asks you to do at the beginning before you start reading the interpretations of the cards. She really asks you to kind of go deep into your imagination and just feel what you're getting from the card. And I feel like these cards, they're so rich. You know, you can read so much from them. It's amazing. It's just one of those decks that you would definitely go back to more than once and you'll find out something new each time. Okay, this is actually, this card comes in blank, but as I said, because it's second hand, there was already a drawn fairy on there, but this is meant to be a blank card for your fairy guide that you draw yourself when you connect to your fairy guide. Just see what they look like, or just leave it blank if you like. I think I might erase it, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Look at this, there's just so much going on, so much going on. Okay, card 65 was actually last. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. Oh, and I'm gonna pull one card, right? I did say that, didn't I? So they shuffle very well. If you have small hands like I do, and you find shuffling difficult, I think the size of these cards is basically like the borderline perfect, good size. Any bigger than this when it comes to like oracle cards usually are a little bit wider, aren't they? But these are still really convenient and comfortable to use if you struggle with larger cards like I do. I'm just gonna riffle shuffle them as well. Hopefully it will work. See, so because they are thinner, it's so easy to get them bent, but also they snap back very easily. So I'm really happy all around with these cards. So let's just see which fairy card wants to come out for a bonus reading for whoever is watching this at any point. Gosh. Okay, I think we've got one. And Luathas the Wild, I think that's how you read it, card 57. I think I actually know this one. I think I read this one in the guidebook. So let me just find it. 57. Now, depending on how much there is written, I might not read it all because I tell you there's a lot. Look at that. So Luathas the Wild starts here, continues here, and here. So this is like, what, 2.5 pages? So I'll just show you a quick, just a little description maybe of who he is, what it means. So haste, impulsiveness, fire, spontaneity, balance. Luathas the Wild. Luathas the Wild is filled with fire, and fire is associated with the creative life force. This fairy fires us up, gets us going, recharges our batteries and creative energies. He likes to be around when things are exciting, when there is life force blazing high and he can jump in and encourage it to burn even higher. We have to be careful with Luathas. He doesn't know the meaning of words like slow, stop, rest, respite, catnap, moderation, gradual, pace, gentle, ease and peace. These are all things that humans must know in order to live creatively and constructively with him. Anything else is fatal, sooner or later, and probably sooner at that. So then you have the starter reading and the reversed meaning there. So I'll just read a few sentences from the starter reading. We don't have it upside down. This card says that wild creative energies are being brought to whatever position it represents in the card layout. It often fires up the things that surround it, represented by other cards, energizing them as well. It tells us that it is important to think and act creatively, and it says that the energy to do so is available. New approaches are called for here. Old ideas and old behaviors will not do it. Sometimes it may be useful to draw another card or do an additional layout to get some suggestions about what those new ideas might be. Alternatively, Luathas may be telling you to go for something now. For example, another member of our Oracle discussion group, so she talks about an Oracle discussion group in here, which you can, I believe, still possibly join. She gives all the details in the book of the Oracle discussion group. So anyway, another member of our Oracle discussion group was at a convention and a man was demonstrating electronic devices. She was not particularly interested in them, but he and she talked about the different meters and tools for a while. She started to walk away and then she thought, no, I've got to do this. She went back and told him, I don't think I'll ever forgive myself if I don't tell you. I think I'm in love with you. They've been happily married for many years. So throughout the book, she gives examples of different stories from the Oracle group. Sometimes it is important to take the risk of making a fool of yourself to gain something amazing and wonderful and miraculous. Sometimes when Luafus says, go for it now, it is important to do so, and sometimes it isn't. If only reason for caution is that you're afraid of looking silly, it probably is time to go for it. Remember then that you need to keep an eye on Luafus. Don't let him have control of your schedule or the accelerator in your car. He always thinks going faster and taking chances is better, and sometimes he's even right. Use sense and stay grounded, even while he takes you off on a flight of fancy. So as you can see, it gives you an idea of how this book is written and the interpretations. She basically talks about the energies of the fairies and why they come in, but then it's pretty much up to you to decide how you interpret it and what you're meant to be doing, because although this Luafus will be wanting you to charge here and now, you gotta use your own discernment as to how far you want to go, right? And when to stop, because he doesn't know what stop or rest or respite means. So yeah, so through Jessica's writing, you are invited to really interact with the fairies, and in a sort of a form that you can imagine, or you can talk to them. You can feel their energy, and this is the energy of a situation if you're reading about a situation or a person. But then you have to use your creative, imaginative juices, let's say, to really get to the message and know what to do. So if that's something that's exciting to you and you like this kind of style, then definitely grab the deck. And I'm really curious to see what you think about it. If you have it already, do you use it? Do you think you're gonna get it now after this video? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time in the next video. Take care. Bye.